Hello everybody, this is DIY Alpha Hound, and I wanted to show you a craft that I am working on. I have this old hat that I got from Goodwill a few years back, and it turned into a failed cosplay accessory. Yes, I'm one of those dorks who does cosplay and makes my own costumes. Anyway, so yesterday I spent all day cleaning off the fabric glue because my first time using fabric glue was not very smart. Anyway, um, I went ahead and I cleaned it off, and I decided, because I have this awesome looking ribbon, that I'm going to make a Halloween based hat. Duh, you read the title, you know what I'm making. Um, anyway, so we have this wonderful ribbon that I cut to length to go around the perimeter of the main part of the hat, so it's going to go all the way around this piece here. Um, So it's going to go like this, and it's going to go all the way around and connect in the back. I haven't got to gluing it yet for various reasons. I want to take and make all the pieces for it first. So this, you can get pretty much any orange ribbon or even lace or whatever, depending on what kind of person you are. Me, because I'm a tomboy, I dress like a, I guess you could call me a tomboy. We'll go with that. Um, we go ahead and we dress up differently, and I prefer to have more of a boyish touch to everything that I do. So this hat I thought was cool, um, and I actually found it around Halloween time last year, and I loved it to death. Uh, I found it with a vampire hat and some awesome cozy PJ pants. Well, I thought, well, since I found it during Halloween time, why not go ahead and make a Halloween hat, you know? Make it look neat and take my time. So we have this lovely orange ribbon, which we will hot glue later. And then I took some really old pins that I don't really care for out of my collection, like the Property of Joker and Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And I decided that I'm going to make custom pins for this. And this one is going to be a pumpkin, and this one is going to have a bat on it. Because I have a ton of black paint, and what's it matter? So I diluted my colors, because what you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to layer it, but you don't want the paint really thick, because if you have it thick, it will look bad in the end. You want this to look factory made because you spent a lot of time on it, and you want people to believe that you found this pin or pins or whatever you're doing. Because I learned from my toy creating stuff that if you go ahead and dilute the paint, it'll make it thinner. Um, an example, let me see if I can get it. An example of this is with this. I made this case, and I made the pop socket, and the pop socket and the case look store-bought, minus the ends, because I cleaned up the edges at the end, and it just ended up looking bad. Anyway, I made this case, and I made the pop socket, and aside from the very fat F, and the poorly drawn paw, if I had left it the way it was instead of adding that, it wouldn't look so handmade. It would actually look like it was in the store. If I had taken my time and actually did it right, it would have looked a lot better. So, yeah, this is what I mean, is you make it look like it was store-bought. So I already put on their first coat of paint on each one. I'm still waiting for it to dry. I just got paint on me again. And what you want to do when you go ahead and you make this, and you add all the accessories that you feel would look good for the hat. So, for instance, for me, if I have a place to put this up, I will. Hang on. We're gonna try this. Yeah, okay. Nope. My failed attempts at videoing because I don't have a camera yet is sucky, because I use my phone for everything right now. Anyway, I was gonna continue working, but so far, until I get a camera, I'm just gonna have to explain everything. Basically, I don't want to see stitching in the middle of this ribbon, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hot glue it in the back, and yes, it'll be like one dot, but it'll work better than hand sewing, because I have hurt my hand a lot lately from hand sewing. I've been hand sewing a lot, and I've been crafting a lot. So I have this, it's so hard to focus. It won't focus. But I have this cut on my finger from when I was crafting, because I was creating another doll, and what was it? I was cutting off the boob region of the doll, because I have no boy doll, so I want to make a kind of like a tomboy doll. I already have one, but I wanted to make another one. But anyway, back on topic, because everybody yammers. Basically, you just want to take your time with this, and layer and layer and layer and layer. And once you build up the complete color of this, and you've covered up the original color scheme, and you've covered up the original wording, or whatever, you know what I mean, whatever you're trying to cover up on the pins, over here in this one right here, I'm gonna put Mod Podge. And basically, I'm going to dilute that and make it look more of a matte thing. And you want to cover it in several coats, because you never know if you're going to drop your hat and it's going to hit the floor, or, you want to make sure that it's nice and it stays nice. And the Mod Podge will protect it. So what I did for my phone case and my pop socket, as I was explaining earlier, is basically you want to give it like 5-6 coats. I went overboard, and I do 8 because I am very clumsy, and I always go ahead and I do it badly. I always drop my phone, so I figured I might as well go ahead and do that. Like, I always drop my hats too, and my pins, all of them are store-bought, so I'm not worried about those. But these, since I'm hand painting them, I sanded them down, and I'm going to cover in another coat of paint. And let's see right here. No. Okay, fine. Well, maybe. Yeah, okay. So basically, what you want to do, see how it's pretty much completely dry. Well, you want to continue painting until you get your desired opaque thing, and it takes time for it to dry, so of course wait for each layer. And I would speed this up, but again, I don't have my camera yet that I want to order, so I'm going to be doing it this way. And I know it takes forever, but I have plenty of stories to keep y'all entertained if you're interested. I doubt you guys are, though. You guys are usually busy, so you don't have time out of your day to constantly go ahead and watch someone sit and yammer and talk about their life. Unless, of course, they're Markiplier or Jacksepticeye, then they're an exception. um, so you want to make sure you get all of the edges and try not to drip on your other pin that's sitting here. And just take your time. And each coat always it looks better than the last. It ends up making it start looking better. But once you get your opaque thing, you just coat it. You can add your details and coat your thing. I guess I could fire up the hot glue gun and start on the hat, but I don't want to yet because I want all my pieces together. But basically, once you have all your pieces together, you assemble it how you like and position the pins how you want it, and yada yada yada. I wanted to make a unique hat, and I love Halloween. I'm very spooky. I love ghosts. I'm all for that kind of weird stuff. So I'm going with a punk Halloween hat that isn't a witch hat or a steampunk hat or a costume hat. I just want a hat in general. I wanted something that I could wear year-round that I know I would love because I love hats. I have, several in this room. I, even have one of those old-fashioned paperboy hats, and I find this, the paperboy hats that you wear in, the 1800s, or the boy would yell, extra, extra. Yeah, I have one of those. I also have a fedora that's what I have all my original pins on. I cover all my pins on there. Right now, I also have my friend's Superman hat. It used to be mine. I gave it to her for her birthday, so yeah, Lily needs to come get that, but I still have that for her. And I also have a Joker hat. And my point is, I love hats, and I thought that this hat would look wonderful. I don't know why, I just thought I would like it. So, I went ahead and did that. And, I think that if you take your time and you really, really put your heart into something, you'll end up loving it in the end. Even if you don't like it at first, see the project to the end, because what you do when you don't plan certain things, like if you have a mistake for whatever reason, for anything, when you're crafting, you can use that to your advantage and turn it into something beautiful. So take your time and, go ahead and make it worthwhile, make it worth your time because you're the one who made it. You want to be proud of it. And if you don't like it, if you had the problem that I did, it's mainly fabric glue. You could go ahead and wash it a million times. But when you wash your hat, if you're making a regular Halloween hat, like I am, just don't wash the glue in hot water or use a hairdryer, because if there is any glue residue on it, it will make the glue stay, and you don't want that. For me, I had giant polka dots all over this hat. I was planning on gluing polka dot here, 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 and then I had the Capricorn symbol here, and I had giant polka dots on the top here, and little ones as well, and it was going to be all over the hat, but I decided against it when I realized how bad I was with hot glue. So, basically, if you had the problem I did and your fabric glue doesn't work, or it's your first time using fabric glue, don't use fabric glue. Just wash it with cold water a million times, and eventually the glue will come out. You want to scrape, before you wash it, you want to scrape it with the, what's it called? a blunt object, you must scrape it with like a letter opener or a butter knife, because I used a letter opener. But take your time, see it through. Do not, you don't want to rush anything. And I pretty much rushed this yesterday because I was sitting at home doing nothing aside from chores. And when I finished my chores, I was just tired of hearing the scraping sound, which for me, I guess it's because of a sensitivity issue. I don't know, but I was just tired of hearing the when I was doing it, so I rushed through it and washed it like 6 times. I repeated that step each time I needed to, and I eventually got it off. But yeah, it'll work eventually. It'll just take time, and the site that I was the thing I was looking at to figure out how to get glue off of clothing, because I put clothing because hat is technically clothing. What I did was, it said soak it overnight, but I didn't want to wait that long, so I just sat and scraped and scraped and scraped until, like, the hat was turning brown for some reason. Yes, I get it's black, but I figured out that later it had something all over and inside it, and I was like, was it dunked in mud or something? Because the water was completely brown. So I was just like, okay, well, I'll just sit and wash it like 6 times one, to clean it, and 2, to see, what happens afterward. So it took forever, but it was worth it in the end. I love it. I'm thinking of also taking some chains. I have some loose chains in my jewelry box, and I might be able to convince my mom to get like bobby pins, and so I'd like take a chain a piece over here because it has these holes on each side, and I want to take a chain through one of these holes and lace it up, and like put a bobby pin here and connect the chain through the loop of the bobby pin, and then put like one here, and then have like 2 more pins over here. So I only have 2 right now. I'll have to go through my pins and see which one I don't want now, and make another one. Maybe I'll make a ghost. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. But yeah, so I have like an idea planned out, but it's pretty much just gonna be fair game, because if I mess up along the way, I'm gonna try again. Anyway, enough of my yammering. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!